My dad's youngest brother is my favorite uncle, and he was the outcast of his family. He did the opposite of what his family was okay with, which to me is a big step because I do a lot of the opposite things my family wants me to do, smoking and et cetera, et cetera. So it was nice to have that bond that somebody else is an outcast too. I remember my earliest memory was when I run out of the car and his dog would be going crazy, and I thought it was massive because I was a little one. And he'd be sitting on his rocking chair and I'd jump on his lap and he'd give me the most embraceful hug ever that I just never wanted to leave. I always had that memory, and that was always the hug that I looked back to for comfort. When I found out that he was diagnosed with cancer, my heart dropped because that embraceful hug, that memory I have of him is now disintegrating. So I did what I had to do and just left school and decided to be with him for a week. When I saw him, I wanted to burst into tears, but I knew I couldn't. I had to stay strong for him, for my dad, for the family. Within that week, I got him to stop saying that he wanted to die and stop saying that he's over it, he knows it's gonna happen to him. The thing that I found out that he said that really touched me was the fact that he never had a daughter or a child at any point. He said that the one thing he wanted to do before he died was to adopt me as his own kid, to say that, legally he is a father. The last day came around and I asked him to make me a promise. The promise was that he'd take it month by month with me. And within 1 month, I would be back enough to stay with him for the entire summer. If I had to go to school there, whatever the case, I'd do it. That night, I went home, and 1 month later, on my way back, the car breaks down. The car breaks down, and my dad calls my mom, and they come to pick us up, and we were halfway to Sacramento, where he was, and my parents come, we go back home, and the route begins again. But my dad told me this time that I wasn't allowed in the car because there was no more space for me. He wanted my mom to go. And I asked him why, and he said that he received a phone call saying that he was a vegetable. His brain is off. The only thing functioning is his heart. The next morning, I had a random feeling that I should give my mom a call. I call, and my mom tells me, Yas, his heart stopped beating this morning. And it was June 19th. And it was exactly 1 month afterwards we had made this promise. It was so remarkable that he did his end of the promise, even though in that position. And till this day, I regret the fact that I'm not able to go back and say goodbye or to finish my end and hold my part. And I know he knows, looking down at me from wherever he is, that I tried my best.